Good morning, students. First of all, welcome back after vacations. Again, we start our class video session and Zoom session also. First of all, I want to tell you about that. We will send some videos and question answers too. In the Zoom classes, we will discuss your queries. Whatever you are having any doubts, whatever having any, are you having any problems? We will discuss all the things with each other. Is that clear? So today we read lesson number 6, Sufi Bhakti Sufi tradition. It's lesson number 6 in the history, part 2nd. 5th chapter deleted by the CBSE. I hope you come to know about that. We send your PDF regarding the revised syllabus. Is that clear? So here we are talking about Bhakti Sufi tradition. In the Bhakti Sufi tradition, from a form of worship, God and goddess were often called as the tantric. Whenever people worship the god and goddess, often people called tantric. Tantric means to say those who did some ritual activities. That was called tantric. Practices were spread in different parts of India, in different parts of subcontinent. It was tantric practice practiced in different part of subcontinent. Is that clear? This religion considered the Hindu religion. Is that clear? So both men and women were free to take part in it, because we read about that in Hindu religion. Always discrimination between the men and women. They always consider men to do the worship. Women consider not good in their worship. Women always consider impure over there, and caste system also. Is that clear? So in tantric, women and men both can participate over there. So ideas of tantric practice also influenced Shaivism and Buddhism. This idea influenced Shaivism and Buddhism too. Is that clear? So in this, especially eastern, northern and southern part of subcontinent, especially in eastern, northern and southern part of India. Subcontinent mean to say India. They always consider such kind of the things. In northeastern, southern and northern part of India, they always influenced by tantric. All of these belief and practice were classified Hindus. All these belief classified as Hindu, because I told you in Hindu religion there were two sects. One, those who consider Hindu religion, they always consider the deities in their incarnation also. And one part is tantric. Tantric spread in different part of the India. Say they always consider men and women. Both the people can adopt that religion, and their religion considering the Hindu religion. Clear? Bhakti tradition. Bhakti tradition included the devotees of deity temple and to where devotees attain state of trance. Devotees deity in temple and devotees attain a state trance. That considered in the Bhakti. Is that clear? That was in Bhakti tradition. So the singing and chanting of devotional composition was generally a part of these kinds of worship. Singing and chanting generally the part of this kind of competition in tradition, in Bhakti tradition. Is that clear? They often used to did that work over there in the Bhakti tradition. So here we are talking about the historian. Historian of religion generally divided Bhakti tradition into two categories. Historian always divided the Bhakti tradition into two parts. One is Sagna, another one is Nirguna. Sagna means to say with attribute. With attribute means with rule regulations. Such kind of religion we are having rule regulations. Is that clear? Which kind of the rule regulations, students? Where they always do work in time. They always worship the deities. They believe in their incarnation. Each and everything considering the Saguna and in Nirguna. In Nirguna without attribute, where the people not believe in idol worship, where they are not sitting in the temple, where they always recite the name of the God everywhere wherever they are moving. Is that clear? So this is the difference between Saguna and Nirguna. So these are the with attribute and without attribute. Attribute mean to say rule regulations. Now we are talking about early Bhakti movement were divided into Alvar and Jnanars. Alvar and Jnanars. Alvar and Jnanars. Alvar devotees of Vishnu. Alvar devotees of Vishnu and Jnanar devotees of Shiva. Clear? So they travel from one place to another place, singing their hymns in the praise of their God in Tamil language. Singing the hymen, they always travel to one place to another. Vishnu and Jnanars. Jnanars were devotees of Shiva and they travel one place to another place, singing hymen in Tamil languages in praise of their God. Is that clear? Some historians are of opinion the Alvar and Jnanar Sant raised their voice. They raised their voice against caste system. I want to tell you two kind of people raise their voice against the caste system. One is tantric people. They are also not considered the caste system. I told you about that. They were not doing such kind of the discrimination between caste system and women. Same as in Alvar and Jnanar, they also raised the voice against caste system and dominance of Brahmins. They always dominance of Brahman. This fact seemed to be true for some extent because Bhakti's son belonged to different communities like Brahman, artisans, farmers, etc. They always belong such kind of the communities. So that's why they always not consider the caste system. So Alvar and Jnanar sons were greatly respected by Vilalla's peasant. They were greatly respected by Vilalla's peasant. That's why they belong such kind of the community. That's why the Chola ruler also consider such kind Shiv and Vishnu too. So you can say such kind of religion also there. So that's why the powerful Chola gave their sport Brahmical and Bhakti tradition. Is that clear? So rulers also try to win their sport. They also try to win their sport. Now we are talking about new movement. There in Karnataka, new movement emerged. New movement emerged in 12th century. In Karnataka, there were new movement emerged in 12th century, which was led by Brahmans. His name was Vasvana. And he belonged to the Brahman family, but earlier he was considered Jainism, and he was the minister of Chola ruler. And later on, he followed the new religion that was called Vaishyavas. That's why his scholars called Vaishyavas. He considered the Vasvana in 1106 to 1168. So at that time, his scholars called Virashivas, which mean hero of Shiva. They often called Lingyatas. What's the meaning of Lingyatas? Those people who carry lingas in silver lingas carry on their shoulder, and they always roaming here and there and singing and hymen in the praise of Shivas. They always devote his life about Shivas. They always consider each and everything in their life. Is that clear? So students, today I told you about each and everything of Alvars and Jnanars, Tantric, Hindu religion, and after that I told you new religion also, where it emerged. Each and everything you just listen carefully, listen that video and try to make the question answers. Is that clear? I'll send you some questions too by PDF, and please learn these questions and write on the notebooks. I'll check in the next session and we will discuss in Zoom session too. Is that clear? Have a good day.